In this presentation, we want to go over an example of applying grading options and grade your test program. Specifically, in this example exam, we will assign different weights to different sections of our multiple choice exam, include the scores for a short essay question that we scored separately, curve the scores appropriately, and assign letter grades. Our example exam has 58 multiple choice questions. First 20 questions are the easiest, the next 20 questions are of medium difficulty, and the last 18 questions are the hardest. The questions shall be assigned relative value of 3, 4, 5 points respectively based on their difficulty. Our exam also has a short essay question, which we want to value as 10% of the total exam score. Here we show you a breakdown of total exam points. 58 multiple choice questions are scaled appropriately based on their relative value and altogether constitute 90%. One short essay question is additional 10%, comes to the total for exam over 100%. Now let's switch back to the application and show you how to easily accomplish this with Grade Your Test program. We start by applying different weights to 58 multiple choice questions. As you can see, we already loaded our completed answer sheets. In our example exam, we have 6 students and 1 answer key. Let's go to the Grade tab, click on Grading Options, and then select Modify percent values of test questions. By default, each question is equally weighted, and all multiple choice questions altogether add up to 100% of exam total. Let's first specify relative weight for different sections of the exam, and then we rescale them automatically to constitute 90% of the exam total. The first questions 1 to 20 are the easiest questions and will get relative weight of 3. Let's click on the first row in the table to help us to pre-populate values in Edit section of dialog box. In the list of questions, we specify the range of our easiest questions. In this case, we specify 1-20. Then, in the value of each question box, we specify relative value of 3. After we click on Set Values button, the table is updated, showing that the first 20 questions shall be valued as 3 points each. We repeat the same operation for the medium and hard sections of our exam. The second 20 questions from 21 to 40 get relative weight of 4. And the last 18 hardest questions of the exam get relative weight of 5. As you can see, after we specify each section's relative weight, the total percent value for all questions on the exam is 230. In order to properly rescale the value of all exam questions altogether to be equal to 90% of the total, we go to Total Percent Value of All Test Questions Edit box and specify the value of 90. After we click on Rescale Evenly button, the program correctly rescales the value of each question so that the total adds up to 90%. Now we press OK. We can see that percent correct column shows the same values, but the values in the score and total score columns are adjusted according to our scoring instructions. Next thing we want to do is to load our student scores for a short essay question. Our essay question is valued at 10% of the total. We already scored our student short essay question separately. First, we enter the scores for our student short essay question into a spreadsheet and save it as a CSV file. Our CSV file must have at least 2 columns, ID column to identify our students, and 1 to 3 columns of individual student scores that we want to include in the total score for our exam. In our case, we added only 1 extra column, specifically short essay column. We can also have other columns in our spreadsheet for our convenience. For example, in our case, we are reusing the class list spreadsheet, which already contains a student name column. We can leave it as it is. We save our spreadsheet as essaypoints.csv. Now we return to the application to load our student short essay scores. We go to Grade tab, and under Grading Options, we select Add Bonus Extra Points. First, we want to specify how scores for the short essay should be added to the total score. Column name field. The name of the column should be short essay because it must match the name of the column in our spreadsheet. Percent of total score field. Short essay counts for up to 10% of the total score. Maximum value field. The maximum value for our short essay is 10, whereby 1 point on short essay adds 1 point to the total score. Thus, no scaling is done. We could have also graded our short essay on scale of 100, for example. Then we would specify a maximum value of 100, and the software would scale it appropriately. Default value field. Default value is 0. It means that if our spreadsheet has a missing value for one of the students, then the students would get 0 for his short essay question. Show in printout of 0 field. If the score for short essay is not specified or is 0, we can suppress it and it won't be shown in the student printout. Now we click on Load Individual Points button. Select our CSV file and the program loads student scores for a short essay question. We press OK to close the dialog. As you can see, as a result, we have a short essay column that shows scores as was specified in the CSV file, and the total for the exam is properly adjusted to incorporate short essay scores as 10% of the total. Now let's assign letter grades based on the exam total scores. We go to Grading Options, select Edit Letter Grade Table. We're going to load letter grade table from one of the exams that we graded recently. As you can see, all students are assigned letter grades based on their total scores. Now let's curve our total exam scores. After reviewing our results in Excel, we found that the class average is 85.58%. And just for the sake of our example, we want the average score for the class to be 90%. Therefore, we have to add 4.42% to every student's score. Let's see how we can easily accomplish this in our application. We go to Grading Options, select Add Bonus Extra Points. In column number 2, we type curve for the column name and the value of 4.42 in other 3 fields. That is, we instruct the program to add unscaled 4.42% to every student's score. After we press OK button, we can see a new curve column showing 4.42%, and every student's total score has increased by this amount. Also, the letter grades are adjusted accordingly. Now let's save our work and go to Printout tab to export results to Excel and generate students' printout. We specify our printout file name and press Save button. Now let's double check what is the new class average. As you can see, it is exactly 90% as was intended. Now let's generate students' printout. We save it as printout.pdf. When we open our printout file, we can see details of how the grade was calculated. For example, we can see different sections of our multiple choice exam. I assign different weights. The score for a short essay question is included, and 4.4 is added to the total exam score. Also, the letter grade is correctly assigned based on the total exam score. This completes our example of applying grading options in Grade Your Test desktop. For more information and to download software, please visit www.gradeyourtest.com.